reference from Michelangelo's Diamond Slaves. I would say it's a sculptural.
Hi, this is the artist. This is Trace Miller, and we're at his opening at Albright College for Nature Invitation for Renewal. Hi, Trace. How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm Ron. And that's no problem. And anyhow, we want to talk a little bit with you about your work.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you have a number of paintings inside the Albright College Freedman Gallery here. 27 works, and each of them have a sort of an abstract expressionist feel to them. But combined with that abstract expressionist feel is collage and nature images.
Right.
So this one in particular is called Ornament.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's oil and collage. Now it shows different images. Like, what is that? Is that a dead bird?
That is a dead bird on its back.
Right on the branch of the
tree.
tree.
Collage element in the painting.
Okay.
There are other elements that look like collage, but they're actually painted right on the surface of the canvas.
Okay. Is that appropriated imagery there, or did you do that?
It's actually my hand, and I went to the supermarket and bought the fresh flowers and.
Okay, so you painted that.
I painted that.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Photographed it first, and then worked from a photograph.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the textures on these paintings, this one in particular, is extremely layered with some areas of heavy impasto. But the nature element of it does have as we back away from it here. It does just, it's a tree trunk and over the top of an abstract background.
Right.
So what is the connection between the realistic aspects of this and the abstract surfaces?
Generally, when I start a painting, I go to it very free association-like. I just layer down marks, and I take out my broom and do broad swaths of color and paint. I'll throw in line work, and I'll just work completely abstractly to build up the ground. And actually the ground is what's maybe going to suggest to me later what type of recognizable images to include.
So you take your inspiration from for the imagery from the background. So it's kind of like you're interacting with your abstraction.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have ideas prior to starting a painting, like some sort of preconceived notion of what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But most times I will try to get things from the abstract type of work that I do at the beginning of the painting.
Well, let's look at a few other works here.
Okay.
So now this one here is called First Light.
Yes.
Okay. Now
this is actually a little bit different process than the other paintings that I'm doing, where this is more of a subtractive, reductive method rather than an additive approach. Here I laid the ground down with various colors, and it's all sort of setting on a black base. And then after that sets up and dries, I'll move in the lighter ground, here again with a broom or with various widths of brush strokes. And while that's wet, I'll stand back and I'll look at it good and hard and try to sort of get a game plan with how I want to deal with figuration or with landscape. So in this case, it sort of suggested a vortex. There was a lot of energy moving vertically with this piece. And it suggested almost looking through trees in the forest with strong kind of light burning through in the center.
Looks like a very strong beam of sunlight bursting through it.
So while it's wet then, once I have my idea in my mind, I'll go about scribing and scratching back into the wet ground to develop the tree forms.
Okay. Now with this one over here, this is called Labyrinth.
Right.
Now it seems that I've been looking at a few of your pieces here, and it looks almost like you've collaged this paint. It seems like it's very
built up.
It's very built up.
Yeah.
Is there, is that, how is that applied actually?
Well, it actually is built up with layers of paint.
Oh, okay.
And so collage, that idea that you had is right on. A lot of these surfaces that I built up initially are, as you can see here, they're scratched back into. There's, you know, a lot of impasto painting. So the surface is very activated. And if I want those trees to be visible and stand out, I feel like I need to build them up a bit before I start modeling them and making them look maybe round as forms.
Right, they do. They do look somewhat realistic up on the top in some of those areas. Let's move on to the next one here.
Okay.
And this one is called sticks.
Right.
Now, this is a monotype, which is
the process. Are you familiar with?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, I worked on plexiglass, and it's kind of a different procedure because you have to put the figure, or in this case the trees, down first and work backwards. Right.
So it's an impression that you're taking off a glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Through a printing press. So you have to be thinking almost as a printmaker does with reverse.
In reverse,
yes.
Right.
So what's really cool about printmaking is after you have something down on the plexi, you could go behind it and look at the image as it might appear on the print.
Right. So you can make adjustments as you go. And to the next piece here, this is a larger piece. This is called Marsh Light.
Right.
So we'll back up a little bit from this so that we can get it.
Oil and canvas. Here to sort of lay down areas of color. And then in this particular piece, I took a fairly wide putty knife and just started wiping it over the surface, creating this distressed type of surface before I put the trees down.
Yeah, this is one of those that I find pretty interesting with the layers of paint, like how heavily and how inscribed it looks. I mean, it's really very clear. It's almost like it's been taped on it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, very tight work.
Here again, if the surface is fairly active, then I sort of take my clues from that as to how far I want to build the tree forms out from the ground.
Yeah. Okay, and to the next piece here, we have, this one is called Whiteout.
Yeah, it's just more or less a landscape fragment. I laid down marks and color and brushstrokes here and there. And I think this little patch of green here suggested some kind of, like evergreen patch in the woods. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to run with that and just continue the rest of the painting with this kind of forest feeling. There's a lot of splatters and things that maybe suggest a blizzard of some sort.
But this tangle of branches is very representative. It's got light and shadow and dimension.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, trees in the winter have such great architecture to them that you can't see in the summer when they're
covered with their foliage.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to have a little larger piece over here too.
Silent Winter.
Silent Winter, this is called. Now this one has more of the abstract expressionist brush strokes in the background of it. So you see really heavy swathes of color here.
Right. Yeah. Mostly done with a broom, I should add.
With a broom, yeah.
With a broom.
You can really load the paint on.
Yeah, it's very liberating to
so these are all oils. All your paintings are all oils?
Yeah, they may start with acrylic just to get a ground down, but actually all the work that you're seeing here is oil.